Hi my friends, welcome to another travel video. Today, my daughter Ava and I are travelling from Chennai, India to Colombo, Sri Lanka, flying Sri Lankan Airlines on flight UL128 and then onwards to Melbourne, Australia. We start our journey in Chennai in the state of Tamil Nadu in India, formerly known as Madras. So come along and join Ava and I on this short 1 hour and 10-minute flight to Colombo and experience the Sri Lankan Airlines business class service with us. The Sri Lankan Airlines check-in counters are located in the International Departures Terminal at Chennai Airport. There is the economy class queue and a dedicated check-in line for business class passengers. We arrived at check-in and there was only one person finishing up before us, so within a couple of minutes, we were served by some really polite and helpful check-in service agents. We checked in our suitcase and were given our business class boarding passes, both for our flight to Colombo and also our boarding passes for our onward flight from Colombo to Melbourne, Australia. The Sri Lankan Airlines Serendiva Business Class Lounge was currently being renovated and refurbished at the time that we did this trip and at the time of recording, so we were not able to use those facilities. Instead, we were given access to the Travel Club Lounge and Bar, located between gates 15 and 16, which is on the lower level and on the other side of Chennai Airport Terminal. This is a small lounge area only, with one area for dining and the other area has a few lounge chairs which are suitable for sitting down and reading or relaxing. There was also a small food selection, mostly of Indian food, plus a few assorted sandwiches and desserts. There is also a bar located inside this travel club lounge. The facilities are okay, but they're quite ordinary and the location was really far from our gate. And I have to say it is not that luxurious and there were no announcements given to let us know when the boarding commenced. Plus, when you're travelling with an infant or a toddler or even children, you do always need to give yourself that extra time. Another thing to note was that there were no baby change facilities at this travel club lounge. The toilets were dark and quite small, and only one toilet for males and one toilet for females. However, knowing that this was a temporary measure only while the real Sri Lankan business lounge is being renovated, this would not deter me at all from booking and flying with Sri Lankan Airlines again. In fact, I will definitely be flying with them because the rest of the trip was absolutely amazing. The boarding was very streamlined and there were only 3 other passengers in business class the day that we flew. The Airbus A321 is the aircraft used on this short international sector from Chennai to Colombo. The business class cabin has a 2-2 configuration with each seat being either a window or an aisle seat. The colour palette is a very neutral, light grey colour scheme in business class with leather seats. The seat pitch is 101 centimetres and the seat width is 53 centimetres. There is a removable headrest cloth, a very decent sized pillow with pillowcase and a headset that you see when you arrive at your seat. I had originally booked seat 1A, the first seat in business class, but seeing that almost the entire other side of business class was pretty much empty, I moved to seat 3F so that I could put my cabin luggage underneath the seat in front of me, because then I would have easier access to it throughout the flight. And when you're traveling with an infant, that makes such a difference to be able to access your luggage easily.
Fasten check. Seat adjusted upright. Thank you.
The flight pushed back from the gate on time, and as we taxied out to the runway, this was my time to get settled in for the flight and to make sure that Ava was as comfortable as possible and to do exactly what the flight attendants say. That is, to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. As we took off, we saw a bird's eye view of the entire city of Chennai, and we really enjoyed just marveling at the amazing trip that we just had to India, as this was the start of our journey home. I personally had been to India over 10 times for holidays and have actually lived there for over 5.5 years as a teenager. But it was my first time taking Ava, and it was such a successful trip, travelling through India with a baby. So successful that I've actually made a video about our Southeast India travels, so be sure to watch that video as well if you're interested in travelling with your family to India. I will leave a link in the description for that video. Anyway, back to this flight. The Sri Lankan Airlines flight attendants are extremely attentive and caring. Before takeoff, we were asked for our food and drink options for the flight. I started with a dry ginger ale, and I've also chosen the vegetarian hot meal and a glass of white wine. As we all had so much space in business class, after the seatbelt sign was switched off, I put Ava in the business class seat next to me so that we could both spread out. My ginger ale came, and the hot meal came shortly after that. A very well presented and nice sized portion, my meal consisted of the vegetarian choice, which was tempered okra and spicy vegetables served with paneer pakodi, steamed rice and vegetable cutlets, and the dessert was opera cake with vanilla sauce, plus all of the hot beverages including the entire tea selection, as well as soft drinks, white and red wine, champagne and waters. The white wine was a good fit with the vegetarian option. But one of the best parts of the Sri Lankan Airlines in-flight service for me is their tea selection. I opted for the traditional Sri Lankan Ceylon tea. It is such a smooth and delicate tea and can be drunk with or without milk. It is the perfect accompaniment to any of the meals on board, and I also finished my meal with a refill of Ceylon tea. In business class, it is served in a silver teapot with a delicate teacup and saucer and ginger biscuits. Even little Ava loved the meal service, watching the tea being poured and chatting away to the flight attendants. The meal trays were collected quickly after we finished, and as there was not that much time left, we were already on our descent into Colombo. I got the flight attendant to put some warm water in a bottle so that I could have a bottle of milk ready for Ava for landing. When the seatbelt sign comes on, I put Ava on my lap again using the infant seatbelt as she is under 2 years old. It is always advisable to offer infants milk or something to drink on landing, as it settles them down and the drinking motion helps to open up the middle ear. I positioned Ava comfortably on my lap with a pillow behind me as she fell asleep. We landed into Colombo and Ava woke up just after landing. As I was travelling on my own with a child, the flight attendants helped me to carry my bags down the stairs and into the transfer bus that took us into the terminal. As we were in transit for 6 hours at Colombo Airport, we had access to the Serendiva Business Class Airport Lounge, and I also booked the Serendiva Transit Airport Hotel. I have done reviews of both of these on another video, so I will link that in the description below as well when they come out. I have to say that the kids are really well looked after on Sri Lankan Airlines. Ava was given a colouring in book and a pencil set on each flight in both economy and business class, as we have travelled in both classes with this airline, and I was given the cutest nappy change set. It is a fold-out travel nappy change mat with little aeroplane designs on the front, and it opens up to a pocket with a nappy and baby wipes. A very well thought out addition to help make travel streamlined with a baby. And interestingly enough, this is not something I ever would have found out that they do. It's only now that I am travelling with a baby that I get to see these extra touches that the airline provides and that I can pass on to you. Also, as Ava is under 2 years old, I was given an infant seatbelt which attaches to my seatbelt, so Ava sits on my lap for takeoff, landing, and whenever the seatbelt sign is on. I was extremely impressed with the kindness, the care, and the extra service from the Sri Lankan Airlines staff on board. I love the way they treat the children on board as well, something I never would have experienced beforehand as I wasn't travelling with a child before, so it's so nice that you as the viewer get to see this as well. I think that's the biggest tip. When you are travelling with an infant, you want to make things as easy as possible and as streamlined as possible for you as the parent. This is what keeps you calm and makes for a peaceful and pleasant trip for you and your baby. I will share some more tips on packing and ways to make your trip easier when travelling with children in another video, so please let me know in the comments what information you would like help with. Being such a short international sector, Ava and I were both extremely comfortable and well looked after, so I found the seating to be very comfortable and restful. If you have any questions at all about travelling Sri Lankan Airlines or about travelling with a baby in general, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe for more travel videos to make the most of your journey.